Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. Today I thought I would tackle this, and that is my bookcase, and share with you some of the bits and pieces that I've been reading over the past month or so. I really gotten back into reading big time, and I wanted to share with you some of the bits and pieces that I've been reading and tell you why I've been liking them, and also some of the things that I will be reading to see if they're things that you're interested in and you want to hear my thoughts on. So anything that catches your eye, please do let me know in the comment section below. And if any of you want to read any of these books, all the links and stuff like that will be in the description box below. If you're new, hi, welcome, my name is Nafisah, and I don't just talk about books, I talk about BC and fashion and just general life bits and pieces. So if you like what you see, please do hit that subscribe and that notification button. That would mean a lot. So after the world's largest introduction, let's get to it. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, which will be no surprise if you've watched my March video, is this, and this is The F Word by Lily Pebbles. I am a huge fan of Lily in general. I really like her ethos. I really like her relationships with her friends. So when I found that she was coming up with a book on friendship, I knew I had to get it, and it didn't disappoint. It's a very easy read. It's one that you can read on the tube quite easily because the chapters are divided quite short, so you don't having to stop midway through a chapter when you're travelling or commuting. And that's how I read it. I read it in about a week of my commute to and from work, and that wasn't reading it every single day either. I absolutely adored it. It's all about female friendships and how to navigate them, but it goes a little bit more deeper than that. The reason that I liked it is because it allows you to see friendship through the other person's eyes, so not just through your eyes but through other people's eyes, and it navigates through a different range of friendships, from toxic friendships, from friendships with your sisters, from how friendship changes when you're on different life paths and you're at an age where friendship is changing, because it's friendship when you are in your 20s, especially in your late 20s, is very different to friendship when you're in school and you're constantly surrounded by each other. And that's something that I'm going through, that I'm experiencing, and I found this really interesting. The cover itself is absolutely beautiful. It's a mixture of pinks, of this granite, which is beautiful, some marble, of course. It is very Instagrammable book, but aside from that, it is a really nice book to read about friendship. And if you haven't read a lot of books about female friendships but you want to, this is definitely a good place to start. The next book which I finished reading and I absolutely adore is this one, and this is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I absolutely adore Dolly Alderton. If you read my Instagram stories or watch them, if you watch my Instagram stories or if you read my tweets, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Dolly's work, Dolly's writing, and also her presenting work. She does a lot of, she has 2 podcasts, which I'll leave a link to as well in the description bar, which are amazing. And this sounds like it's supposed to be a romance novel. It's really not. It's about love, but loving yourself and loving your friendships, loving the life that you're in, learning to be at peace with yourself, to be at peace with your friendships. It's not about romantic love. There is mention of romantic love in the book, but it's not in relation to that kind of intimacy. It's more to do with how those relationships were a reflection of how she felt about herself and the confidence and the self-esteem that she had in herself. It's really beautifully written. I have taken so many pointers from this. There are things in there that I didn't resonate with. There are things in here that I completely 100% resonated with. I find her relationship with her best friend Farley really beautiful, and resonated with that 100% completely, because it's something that I went through and go through with my best friend, and it's a really beautiful book. I have a review of this coming up on my blog where I go into it a lot more detail, but yeah, I really adore this, and if you're thinking about reading it, I would definitely pick it up. And then a book that shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of you, because it's very much talked about, is this one. And it is Eleanor, Oliphant is Completely Fine. And this is about Eleanor, Oliphant, of course, and it talks about how she leads a very simple life that a lot of us can resonate with. She goes to work, she comes home, she does pretty much the same thing on a routine. So every Friday night she has a routine where she will do certain things, and throughout the week she will know exactly what she's doing or where she's doing it. And it seems that she's very happy, she's fine and content within herself. Obviously, the more we look into it, we realise that is not the case, and she's covering up something quite big, and she's eventually has to tackle that head on. And it's a really beautiful book that I think a lot of us can resonate with. It tackles a lot of issues such as loneliness, mental health, social care in the UK. It's based in the UK, it's based in London, which I think helps resonate this a lot more with me too. I will say this is different compared to some of the other non-fiction type books. I say it's non-fiction, but it's very relatable. So I think it can be, it's written in such a very real memoir way, you can almost forget that the characters are fiction, which is testament to Gail's writing. I absolutely adore it. And the thing that's really different about this compared to the other books that I've read is that I didn't necessarily always like Eleanor. There were times where I felt sorry for her. There are times where I did resonate with her and I completely knew how she was feeling. And then there were other instances where I felt really bad for not liking her. And yeah, I absolutely adore this. It's actually going to be made into a movie. Reese Witherspoon's production company recently bought the rights to the book, which is very, very exciting. And if you buy the paperback version, there's also an interview with Gail at the back of it, like a question and answer, which is really interesting and really telling. It's a very poignant, very apt book that I think we need to talk about because it focuses on issues that we all can resonate with, which is why it's so acclaimed, but they're issues that we do not talk about in society enough. And the next book that I'm going to talk to you about is something that I'm really, really excited to read, and I'm going to be reading this next. And this is How to Write a Love Story by Katie Cannon. And I really do like Katie Cannon's writing. It's she's a YA author, and she really gets characters and really resonates characters with you. She really makes you feel what they are feeling and what they are going through. She wrote and then reran, which I read, which I've spoken about, which I really liked as well. So I'm really excited to tackle this. This is about Tilly, who's always wanted to be an author like her grandmother, and her grandmother asked her to write a romance novel. And she really, really wants to write one. She's really happy to take on this challenge for her grandmother. She's full of enthusiasm, ready to go. But she's never experienced a relationship before. So if you're a writer, you know a lot of the brilliant writing that you do comes from feeling and emotion, and you sort of resonate and feel the things that you're talking about. You've experienced them. So she tries to go and experience what it feels like to be in love, what it feels like to trigger those emotions in yourself. And it's really funny because there's like a tick list in there, and it's like, number 1, go and flirt. Number 2, make the hot new guy at school fall in love with you. And number 3, write it down. And obviously life, it doesn't go through that. There's lots of twists and turns in the book, which I have no idea of because I've not read them yet. And I'm really interested to see where the story goes and how Katie Cannon brings the story to life. And then a book that I was lucky enough to get a proof copy of, which is not coming out until the 2nd of August, is called Bitter Orange, and it's by Claire Fuller. And this is set in the summer, where it's supposed to be quite warm, atmospheric, holiday vibes. It doesn't always go into that, and it's about a relationship that is, as the name would suggest, a little bit more bitter than it seems to the eye. So I'm really excited to give that a go. And the last book that I'm going to talk to you about is one that I am really excited to talk to you guys about because it's someone I am currently reading. And this is this one. And this is Bissell in the Dark by Emma Healy. First of all, that cover is stunning. I absolutely adore this cover. It's amazing. It's quite dark but light at the same time. There's like vocal rose gold touches on there, which is beautiful. So far I really do like this book. It follows a girl called Laura and her family. Laura went on a trip with her mother, and she went on a trip with her mother and she was lost for 4 days. And when she comes back, she doesn't say what happened to her, where she was, how she got scars and bruises and things like that on her. Her mom in particular is very worried and wants to know what happened. She's beside herself. She doesn't tell the police what's happened either. It's a really, really powerful book that touches upon a lot of family dynamics, family themes, especially the mother-daughter relationship, which I can completely resonate with in this book. It has some beautiful scenery in here as well. Emma Healy is an amazing writer so far. I am on page 66 and I am hooked. I only got my hands on this on Wednesday, so I'm really, really excited to finish this and let you guys know what I think. But so far it's really great, and I think I'm going to be reading some more of Emma Healy's work because I do like her writing style already. And there you have it. Those are the books that I have been reading recently. Let me know what books you have been reading in the comment section below, and let me know which books you want to hear more of my thoughts on, more in-depth thoughts and reviews on my blog. Let me know. I'm more than happy to get that sorted out for you. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be back next week with a beauty haul. Speak soon. Lots of love. Bye.